Okay, good morning everyone. Cool. We'll just wait for a few people to join in. Good morning, Albany Framing. Good morning. Art House Designs. How's it going, guys? Best Framing. Good to see you. Lionheart. We're gonna jump on in a minute. We'll just say hi to a few friends. Julie's on. Hi, Julie. How you doing? Hi. This is great. Patrick, how's it going, Patrick? Hope everything in New Jersey is good and you guys are all staying safe. Wolf Haas, good morning. Alessia Ferraro, good morning. Good morning. We will just wait a few more minutes and get Lion Heart Framing on. We have Austin's about to join us. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right, let me get John Demkowitz is in the house. Good morning, John from Atlanta. Hope you're doing well. Big Bark Art, good morning. Thanks for the wave. Sky Cavallino Gallery, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being on with us. You know, folks, I'm looking forward to do this every Tuesday. We did one last week. It was a lot of fun. And we did it with Meredith. She is amazing, and we just had a great conversation. We'll have this talk live put on our YouTube channel afterwards. So if someone wants to, get some info from it, more than welcome to, view it there. Meredith shared just so much knowledge. And she gave away so many nuggets about, what you can do certainly during the COVID times right now, but also what you can do to repivot your business when things do turn around. So with that said, I'm going to add in our guest. Just give me a minute here. I'm going to add them in. Here we go. Hello, Applewood. Thanks for joining us. And there's Austin.
Hey.
How's it going, my man?
Good, good.
Hello.
I think you got to keep it this way, yeah.
All right. I was hoping it would work the other way,
Yeah.
as I've got a miniature tripod. But
Yeah, no worries, no worries. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Wonderful.
It's a rainy day here, washing away the pollen.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And, thanks for both being on the call today on this Instagram Live. And you're our second guest we've ever had. We've had our first ever Instagram Live last week. Went really well. We had some great partner participation, a lot of people asking questions, so it was really cool. And now we have you folks on, so we're really excited to have you folks from Lionheart Framing on. So maybe I'll give you the floor a bit. I'd love to, if you can, share with the viewers who you folks are, where you're located, and I guess what do you specialize? What's Lionheart Framing about?
Cool. Yeah. No, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us, Tony. Lionheart is basically our little shop to create random, wacky, fun, really tailored stuff that kind of brings out just the life of artwork in the frame. So we do a lot of like sculpting and painting and embellishing and using certain moldings as kind of a blank canvas to create a kind of new, kind of one-off kind of thing for it. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. We met each other. We lived in the same loft for a while. Cool. And ended up at the same big box framing store. Didn't know each other framed. That was about like 8 years ago. Yeah. And then, opened up this store 5 years ago. Just wanted to do something for ourselves.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's Austin.
Yeah.
I'm Alton.
Awesome.
You probably have introduced yourselves in the beginning. But
Double A. That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. And right now, I know you guys are in the frame shop, unless your apartment is littered with corner samples. So I'm assuming you're in the frame shop?
Yeah, we're in the frame shop. We're about 4 miles away from our home.
This is the shop.
Ah, cool. That's really fun. Yeah, and I'm assuming you folks are closed as well, right?
Yes.
We're next door neighbors, so we're kind of in isolation with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
The shop is technically closed right now, so we're we're here, but we're not accepting clients or anything like that.
Got it. Yeah. We spoke earlier yesterday. I spoke with Austin, and you were telling me. So if someone is interested to get something framed, how would they do that in times like this?
I mean, we have been doing virtual appointments. I've done since, I guess last Tuesday is when we started it. We've had maybe seven or eight, and they've all been quite successful. Now is kind of an issue. Larson quit delivering yesterday, so whatever we are sitting on, that's the only things that we can use. So I guess if people wanted to get something done now, we'd be stuck with that, or just with the promise of that things will reopen and that we'll be able to get you the materials that you want in the future. But so it's, I don't know, a little uncertain, but we would still offer the virtual consultation, and we're not stopping for anything.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think you guys are being responsible. Certainly closing the door. You've indicated yesterday someone walked up to the storefront and they had a piece of art or a diploma. I think you
Yeah. They had an Emory diploma in their hand, definitely looking through the windows trying to get it framed, and got it close. So.
Yeah.
And you actually didn't accept them, right?
Yeah, we didn't even really lock eyes. I don't think he really noticed I was in here. He read the sign on the door about the appointments, and that we're closed until the 8th as per the mayor. Yeah.
So maybe I'm hearing a common theme around virtual. I think a lot of things are happening virtual, or through FaceTime, Zooms, and things like that. I think you can rifle through your Instagram or Facebook feed, and you can see a lot of people doing things. Let's call it virtual. How can you walk us through? Because I'm sure a lot of viewers are interested. How does that look like? Like what do you do to have virtual customers? Either one of you.
So I've learned a few things doing it. That basically, so the easiest way to nail down a mat sample. Obviously, it's hard to tell tones and all that through the phone because there's a disconnect there. Maybe our lights are a little warmer than yours. I laid out an array of grays, right? And so if you give people 6 different grays to look at, they can pretty much pick what's closest to their artwork that they're holding in their hands, seeing in the video of the mat boards in your hands. And then when it came down to nailing down a frame, if I saw that they were leaning more towards one, I would just keep putting that one near the next one that I showed them, so that there was always 2 that they were seeing, to kind of just reinforce and compare the differences, because it's difficult when you're moving around a phone. But
sure. And are you using FaceTime? What's the vehicle? What are you using?
Zoom, Google Hangout, and FaceTime.
Okay.
So whichever one that the client has or feels more comfortable using. Basically, it was an array. Everyone had a different preference, but Zoom is pretty good. Google Hangout wasn't bad, and then obviously if you have an iPhone, FaceTime is just super easy.
Yeah.
Sure. And do many of these, are these initiated by let's call it your customer, or are they initiated from you calling into your customer base?
We don't call into our customer base. We don't like email campaigns. We probably will start doing them more now with the changes. But basically what I did was I put my personal phone number out there on the door. It just says text me to set up an appointment. So all of them have been initiated by the customer base. I would say, we obviously have great friends and family. Half of those virtual appointments have been our friends or family reaching out to support us. The other half, surprisingly, 2 of them were customers that we've never worked with before.
So net new.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. And then the other one's just repeat customer base kind of deal.
Cool. So I want to just shed a light, because sometimes things can get overlooked. So you put something on your door, essentially, of the retail store, because and give us context. Are you on a main street? Do you have walk-by traffic?
We are on a main street.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
This is our
This is our design table right here with all of our mat racks.
But Austin put these signs up right here in the window.
Yeah, so they're just next to the door.
You know, and we're on a pretty main thoroughfare.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So simple sign, indicating, hey, as a result of what's transpiring in the world regarding COVID, should you need anything, give us a call.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the mayor here in Atlanta actually put a shelter-in-place order in effect and closed all non-essential businesses until the 8th, basically for like a 2-week period. So since we're non-essential, we're closed to all clientele basically until that date. But I think she's probably going to extend it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we usually get a lot of foot traffic in this area. Not so much right now.
Yeah.
But we're still seeing people stop and read the sign, and it's a small level of awareness that people are gaining from it.
Cool.
So I think it's working.
Yeah, everyone's a runner now, so
yeah, totally.
so we definitely get a lot of people looking.
Yeah. So what else do you do? I mean, as far as connecting with customers, so we've been connected for a while, and you guys have been great partners of ours, and we're very thankful for that. But I've also watched you guys kind of, blossom into this really cool company. And what caught my eye is how unique some of the work of art that you create. And obviously the vehicle I seen that was with Instagram.
Yeah.
How do you leverage Instagram during these times? Are you leveraging Instagram or Facebook or whatever have you?
So we don't have a Facebook. I just don't like the dialogue that kind of goes on in that atmosphere. But the Instagram, we definitely, in the past, I pretty much manage it. I used to try to keep it very just only about the product, nothing else. Post, the main dead on shot on the, CNC we have, and then a couple detailed pictures. Since this has happened, I've tried to really put our faces on the business a little bit more.
Got it.
Make it more personal. Make sure people know that, who they're going to be dealing with. And it's not just this kind of obscure shop or whatever. So I've been leveraging Instagram a lot with that, being, 100 times more active on it than I used to. Because you can only post, so much work before you run out of, content. So yeah, definitely just posting more and more about the virtual appointments, making sure people feel, good about them and that they're successful and easy, and it's really not hard to just jump on a video chat. I threw out a giveaway for like a gift card to get more engagement. I'm not really an algorithm, know-all, but I do feel like when people are double tapping your picture or they're commenting on it, you're going to come up in their feed more than you used to. Sure. Because of that engagement. So that's a hope, I guess, but I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, and I think my personal opinion about Instagram. By the way, I far prefer Instagram over Facebook. I'm in both areas myself. And what I try to do is be active where the customer base is. So a lot of our partners are still on, Facebook, and I'm happy to be there. But I certainly personally lean towards Instagram, hence why we're doing this on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
But I think Instagram for our industry, it's almost made for our industry. It's great for pictures. It's great to showcase work. And I think for our industry, we kind of run under the radar in many respects. But I think Instagram, Facebook has been helping our industry, in my opinion, get the word out, show the creativity. Because I think, and you folks both know, you worked in your previous life in big box stores. They serve a purpose, and I think I always believe there's room for everyone. But what you guys, like the work and caliber of work you do, the creativity, is what you could really double down on in social. And quite frankly, that's what caught my eye. And one of the pieces that caught my eye was this green frame. It kind of looks like slime.
Yeah.
And I showed my daughter because she's 4 and she loves slime.
Sure, of course.
But yeah, tell me a little bit about that piece. Like, what did you guys do there? How did you do it? Why did you do it?
All right. So So that client actually contacted us from New Jersey. He had two pieces that we actually did for him. One was the green slime frame for the print of Slimer from Ghostbusters, and the other one was a marshmallow frame that was on fire, and that one was for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Same artist did both prints, and he had kind of an interesting, unique idea. He basically just said, what do you guys want to do with these? And I pitched him these two ideas, did a couple little sketches and sent him back, and he said, I love it, let's do it. Both of those frames are made from poplar. They are, basically built from scratch. The green slime frame is a poplar frame that I milled up and glued up, and it's basically done, the whole thing is glued so that there's no screws or any metal in it. I used a power carver from a company named Arbortech, which is basically an attachment for an angle grinder, and you can basically just use this little spinning disc to carve away all the material on the frame that you don't want, or on a piece of wood, basically.
Sure.
So I carved, like kind of sketched out what I wanted to do and how I wanted it to look, stuck with my sketch, like removed all the excess material with a jigsaw, and then used a power carver to get those complex curves and all those really interesting shapes. The glossy finish I got from it, I used powder pigments that I bought off of Amazon forever ago, which are not ideal for this, and I would not advocate doing this because I've learned the hard way. But I used those, and I mixed them in with Total Boat 2-part epoxy, which is like a really great high gloss, really strong finish. And I basically just mixed it all up by hand. I would apply it, let it all drip off the back of the frame, like on a big piece of cardboard on a couple of sawhorses. And then I sanded it and did it again, and sanded it and did it again. So if you actually see the piece in person, it's got this really great kind of leveled effect where you're getting multiple layers of the color. And because the powder pigment didn't dissolve perfectly, you get these little granule kind of, it looks really interesting and pretty neat. I didn't paint the frame. I just went straight at the frame with the epoxy to create a really nice bond. My concern, if you're going to put the epoxy on top of the paint, is that it doesn't bond well, or if there's moisture in the paint, it can actually cause bubbling and other ill effects. The wood I use is kiln dried, so it had a really, really low moisture content, so we don't have to worry so much about buckling or anything like that. And the thing turned out really great. The client really liked it. In fact, he was a big fan of both of the pieces that I did for him. We built him a shipping crate, which if you go back on our Instagram, you can see we've done that multiple times for people. We've done shipping crates for a bunch of people in the past. The same client has another piece that I'm wrapping up hopefully this week. This COVID-19 thing has given us a little bit of extra time to dedicate to much more complicated projects like that. Yeah. So I've had a couple of projects that have been like in the works, and I've been trying to fit them in here and there around our regular workload, and really complicated stuff like the Ghostbusters frames, or if you go back, we did one for the movie The Thing. There was a Thing poster we did with a frame that's got like melting monster faces and stuff on it.
Got hair on it.
It's got hair on it. It's pretty gross, but I really thought it turned out pretty well.
Okay.
We've done all kinds
I
of
got to
stuff
stop
like
you
that.
for 1 sec, brother.
Sure.
So that what you just shared is like gold, and
Sure.
and like I'm sure you can geek out on this stuff for like
Ever.
eons.
Yeah, forever.
And I could tell, and I'm sure the viewers could tell the passion, right? And that's the like you had me, man. That's the stuff that I'm always asking framers to double down on. Now, regardless if it's our product or anyone else's product, because it's not about that. But that's the type of stories that are, in my opinion, Instagram worthy, or like I think you need to tell that story.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just think you need to create another one, and I think you need to step by step that shit, and I think that like that story, you don't need advertising. You don't need to give away stuff. You don't need
just
to
raw content.
That's so like proprietary native content that's unique, and in my opinion, what people want to see.
Well, yeah. So a lot of like the things that Austin and I have started to do in the last couple of years, they require buying different tools. You know, to do some of the stuff that we had to do in the past, we had to buy a table saw and a router table and like other miscellaneous tools. Got to spend a little money to make money, but also every time you spend money on stuff like that, you're just adding that tool for the next job. So basically, you're adding to your repertoire. You're building a bigger portfolio of abilities. So much of the stuff that we've done has been influenced by YouTube. Like literally, if you want to know how to do something, you just go and type it into YouTube, and somebody out there has it. To that end, we actually started making YouTube videos, and we have a YouTube channel with like 10 videos up, 11 videos, something like that.
Not too many, but they're process driven.
Yeah.
Not very much narration, but I think that is where in the future we're going to start adding a little bit more info and insight behind it.
Yeah. So some of those videos are really, they're like step by step, start to finish. Like here's how we do a giant beaded tapestry thing. Or actually, one of the videos is for Mr. Demkowitz. We framed a shirt for him. Yeah. So cool. We really try to like show the whole process from start to finish and how we did some of the proprietary stuff that we've done. One of the videos is how we do the gold leaf bevels that were so like everybody loves those. And if you're a framer, they're really inexpensive to do. They're time consuming depending on what you're trying to do, but the process is really inexpensive. The materials are really inexpensive, and you can charge like a fair amount for them. It's a little thing that adds a really custom, special, hand-finished kind of feel to your finished product that we put the video out there for free because we think it's important that other people know this stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, process videos have blown up on YouTube, and a big part of like our goal for the next year or so is to start making better ones, because the first 10 we did, we were kind of like steep learning curve. Never edited videos, never filmed anything before.
That's okay, man.
Everything's filmed with a GoPro in the first 10, so they kind of don't look great. But this year we bought a much nicer camera. We started to like actually take some of this into effect. And up until the COVID thing, we haven't really been able to dedicate super amount of time to it, but we're definitely working towards like making much more in-depth kind of interesting videos that show off a lot more of the like harder techniques that we've learned. And show off like how to use tools and how to do different things, and what materials we're using, and all that stuff. It's all really important.
Yeah. What I'm hearing, man, and I gotta tell you, what I'm hearing is pure passion, and forgive me, I'm certainly gonna go to your YouTube channel, you know, and look at those. Now, are those videos right now just time lapse videos?
Some of them are like that have that time-lapsey feel. Most of them are like process videos where they're showing piece by piece.
But there's no audio.
There's no audio in most of them.
Some audio. It's mainly like just the noise of the staple gun or whatever tool, you know, is being used.
Because from this angle, so from this side, like just hearing you talk and the detail, brother, that story needs to be told. And you can't narrate that.
He's in the first 10 videos. He was so after me to like put music in or talk over or something.
Well, dude, listen to Austin.
Yeah, I should have, right? But
no, and I'm sharing that because, in my opinion, that's the future of this industry, right? It has to go specialized. Yeah. It has to go unique. And I never heard in this conversation price, by the way.
Oh, the price that I attached to that frame?
No, whether it's the price you attached or the price that you quoted, I love it, and I think if you're doing unique things,
our whole thing since we opened has basically just been like do the coolest thing possible with the artwork, and the client will show it off. They'll love it. They'll be willing to pay for it. Instagram's great for us because now we've been in this for 5 years. We have like 800 pieces up on Instagram or some crazy number like that. If we have an idea, we have a client who brings a piece in, drops it on the table and says like, what do you guys think we should do with this? Now Austin and I have a really great portfolio where we can say, oh, well, we did this thing on this piece and this thing on this piece and this thing on this piece. And now we can jam those 3 ideas together for your piece and create an entirely new thing. Like it's a great selling tool because it allows us to be like, well, here's how it's going to look on your piece because we already did this thing.
Yeah,
on
here's
this.
an example of shadow box walls that are painted.
Exactly. So Instagram's amazing for that. The YouTube thing, once we build a couple of years from now, that's going to be an incredible selling tool too, because you're going to be able to be like, hey, look at how we did this. But
hey, I just got to ask on that because I got to press pause. Yeah, don't wait for perfect.
Oh no, we don't. no, Tony, we don't wait for perfect.
Perfect is the enemy of done, right? So just, I think sometimes the more real, the more raw. Heck, look, this is pretty real. I'm in a t-shirt at my office with a bunch of stuff in the back. I think the more real, the more raw. I think the gold there, and I'm going to reiterate it, man, is coming from you folks, the creators. Although our industry is called framers, you guys are designers, creators. And the more you can tell that story, I think the finished product is very important, but it's kind of like showing off a pizza, but not talking about the love you put in the pizza dough.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would double down on that. My question also, and forgive me, we're jumping around. How did they hear about you from New Jersey? Because that's a ways away.
It must have been the Instagram.
Yeah. A lot of poster collectors, like, every concert, most concerts, jam bands and stuff like that, they do like a really fancy run of posters for the show. And a lot of our clientele goes on Facebook groups, for like Fish or Widespread Panic. And we're talked a lot about in those groups because concert posters lend themselves to the type of design of frames that we want to create.
Yeah.
So more so than those like Ghostbusters pieces that he did, we kind of started all this with concert posters.
Yeah.
So I think he might have found us through one of those groups or just happened to stumble upon our Instagram or something like that. I'm really
especially
sure.
Now we haven't had Facebook in like 2 years. But so pretty much everything that happens on Facebook is without our input, basically.
Yeah.
Our clients will repost pieces that we've done for them in like, poster collector groups or whatever. I've through the grapevine seen other pieces from our Instagram actually popping up on Facebook, in different places. Pinterest. Yeah, we've seen them pop up on Pinterest before.
Cool.
So who knows how he found us?
So I have an ask.
Sure.
Can you call him and ask him?
Yeah, I'll actually, assuming that we can ship stuff still, assuming FedEx is still open this coming week, we're going to actually probably end up shipping his latest piece to him this coming week.
Cool, yeah.
So I'll ask him. Yeah.
The reason I say that, because when you find out why and how, I would take it upon yourselves to double down on that. So if he did find you on Instagram, I would encourage you folks, again, you do what you like, but I'm just trying to give some value. What I think I would do is put out I would double down on that story, or I would double down on that actual Ghostbusters, really tell the story really impactfully, and sponsor that do a little sponsored ad targeting those creatives. Because guys, I think you have something gold there, and I would just leverage that to, till the cows come home. I think it's a great story. I think it's proprietary. And Austin, make sure he does it.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah. So is this Tony gives us like excellent advice minute, or is this we're trying to help people get through COVID-19?
This is Double Down with Tony TV.
Double Down with Tony?
Yeah. Well, I think this is, listen, I think there's one of two ways you can, sit at home, feel sorry for yourself that you're isolated and cry about what isn't, or jump on a Instagram live, have a really cool conversation with two dudes that have been our partners forever, and who knows what comes out. Maybe give you a nugget, maybe you give someone else a nugget, but I know that if you stay home and do nothing happens. And my goal through this, and I had this conversation with Austin, is that we're just sharing nuggets, and where these conversations go, I mean, I don't know. But I know the first one that we did with Meredith, there was so much great feedback after that people got. And I'm really hoping that as a result of this conversation, maybe you're sparking a light on someone else who is doing otherwise great work and or is, not leveraging, the tools that we have. That I don't know. Who knows?
So a lot of the stuff that we see where other industry people aren't pushing the limits the way we are, a lot of it just comes down to they don't know how to sell this stuff. And it's like, I don't know how to teach that, unfortunately. Like, there's no easy way to get people on the like level where they can think like, oh, this would look cool if we did X, Y, or Z. Austin and I have always kind of sold on the same level. We always kind of have the same level of vision for this stuff. But I think like learning different skills, constantly like trying to pursue knowledge on how to accomplish different stuff. I started doing, I did the Ghostbusters thing because I had seen somebody else online do a table that the guy used a power carver to create that drippy effect. That I watched that video like, I don't know, a month before that Ghostbusters piece came in. So the Ghostbusters piece comes in and I think in my head, oh, I've seen somebody do this already. Like I've seen somebody do the idea that I want to do for this. I went back and watched that guy's video and like ordered the little power carver thing and I was in business. Like so much of what we're doing is inspired by what we're seeing other people in the maker community do, because that is a huge inspiration. And it's also through like a dialogue with the client. A lot of the time the client will either have an idea already or they have no idea at all, and you get to kind of pitch them whatever idea you want. For us, sometimes that's like, let me think about it and I'll get back to you tomorrow with my idea on this. And sometimes it's immediate. And I think that like if you're really trying to do these crazy one-off specialty things, like you need to like convey to your client that it's going to take time, it's going to be expensive, and that your idea like is going to be interesting and unique, but it's also like malleable. And if they don't like something about it, they can work with you to fix it.
So on that point, if I can jump in, you said, when you're doing one-offs, they're unique, and unique time usually equates to dollars, right?
Sure.
When that individual, I don't know his or her name, from New Jersey, when they called you, was price an issue?
For that client, no. For some clients, it really is. For a lot of the pieces that we've done, especially the concert posters, tend to be younger people that are buying them. And a lot of younger people, they either are starting their family or they're not in their like final leg of their career yet, or they're, so they're working on a limited budget. The way Austin and I have always sold stuff is like, we try to work within somebody's budget. We'll try to like identify what your budget range is and then see what we can do within that range. And if we have a really crazy idea, a lot of the time we'll pitch it to people. A lot of the time, if it's your first go around with us, we're a little bit more flexible and forgiving with the price stuff. I'll go the extra mile and do an extra couple hours of labor for somebody. You build a lifetime client by doing that. You build somebody who really respects what you've done and likes it and will show their thing off to their friends because they're really hyped that they got this awesome thing at a really great price. We've pulled a lot of business locally just by giving somebody a pretty good discount on the first go around. Like the next time they come back, or they come back to pick it up and they've got their friend with them, and they've got two friends with them, or they post it on their Facebook group and say, look at this thing that I got. Like we understand, especially with these really complicated specialty things, like you're not always going to make the most possible money at the end of the day. And that's not really where our focus is. Our business model has always been do the simple stuff to pay the bills and do that wild stuff to kind of get the acclaim. The simple stuff is like, we still do a ton of diplomas and family photos and art for people's walls and stuff like that. The crazy stuff that's on our Instagram is like, we're doing maybe 20 of those frames a year at the most, 20, 30. Like, we're not doing a ton of them. So,
okay, so I got to stop you. So 20 or 30 of those crazy ones is a lot, number one. Number two, I think you're doing 20 or 30 without advertising. Imagine when Austin makes you do those videos and you convert, and you actually convert time energy into native content that actually has some other crazy creative, probably, I don't know, some Friday the 13th or some gory, I don't know, director hears about you guys, and as a result of that, you're doing 60, 70.
Yeah.
I mean, I like your model, and our business is no different. We have 3 tiers of products. We have Simply Roma, we have Roma One, and then we have Roma Elite. Would I love to only do Roma Elite? For sure. But the
Yeah.
reality is we do a lot of Simply, we do a lot of Roma Ones, and now we're starting to garner the attention with Roma Elite. And to be quite, frank with you, the Roma Elite products are the most fun. They're the
Sure.
craziest, and they're also the hardest.
Yeah.
So, as you've indicated, but they tell a beautiful story about who you guys are, and I just hope as a result of this, you guys double down, and maybe we do a video in a year from now, and you're doing 60 to 70. How would your business model be if it was 60, 70, 100 of those? I don't know. I'm just playing that out.
Oh, we would have to hire people.
Yeah, and we
That's
probably
a
would
good
only be working on appointments. We wouldn't have to deal with customers. It'd just be.
Yeah, if Austin and I had to do 70 of those things a year, it would. All of our time would be eaten up by that, and like running the business and production, like all the behind the scenes stuff. We would have to hire people to do like the regular day-to-day sales and production stuff.
That would be a good problem to have.
Yeah, we're with you. That's our goal. Like we're trying to lean, like push in that direction. Up until the COVID-19 thing, this year was just humming right along. We were doing really well, and now this thing's happened. So, there's always a monkey wrench in your best laid plans, right? So
you got it. I always say, you make plans and God laughs, and I kind of feel we're in that predicament now. But having said that, I think life is always working. That's just my motto in life. Life is always working, even when it doesn't seem like it's working. And as a result of COVID, I mean, we're doing these. We never did these before, and they're unscripted, as you can tell. There's no scripts, no papers. I want to ask you, do you guys, as a result of this COVID-19, is it having you rethink your business, maybe adding ancillary services? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
you've been focused on that.
It's just really content continuing to stay current and active and in people's heads. While we can't have customers come in, we still want customers to be thinking about us, still be thinking about the art on their walls.
Cool.
What their stuff means to them. And so I do think this is the time where we are going to, us specifically, like work way more on video content, finishing these crazy pieces, making more, like I said in the beginning, like more of our faces attached to our social.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to say earlier, if yes, you're closed or, you don't have work to do. If you've never tried a gold leaf bevel, now's your chance.
Yeah.
Like, now's your time.
Yeah, 100%.
If you've never tried to do a French line or, like, painted shadow box walls, or just experiment while you have this downtime to then offer that service when you do open up. So, we are going to offer more services. I'm definitely going to continue the whole virtual thing. Because I think for the short amount of time after this, people will be a little bit apprehensive to leave their house, or maybe want a sort of consultation before they actually make it through the door. So
are you by any chance, by appointment or by interest, if someone has interest in doing some wicked, gold leafing with burnishing or whatever, are you open to any inquiries and maybe setting up a one-on-one with somebody?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're still doing that. I got one tomorrow.
Are you talking about virtual appointments, or he's talking about like if another shop wants to learn how to do stuff?
Yeah. So that's kind of where like this whole like taking the veil off of this industry. Like, why shouldn't we share this information?
Agreed.
He explained how from start to finish how he did that. Like, I feel like there's such a caginess within this industry that this person that does fabric liners or whatever, fabric wrap mats, like they don't want to let everyone else know, because then everyone down the block knows how to do it. But like, will they know how to do it as good as you? Probably not.
Well, will they have the experience?
Will they have the experience? No, probably not.
Also,
but like, there's no reason we shouldn't share the information to push our industry forward.
Yeah, we want to, and I think that this is the way to do it. Unique and knowledge like helps helps other shops like raise the bar for their level to like their customers too. You know, a big part of this is like.
Hey, I wanted to pause that. Can I pause that?
Sure.
Yep.
Can I pause that?
Yeah.
Pause.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to deal with two people that own a really cool boutique style design, framing shop that are not scared of sharing their best work, and in fact, who are so open in sharing what they're doing. Like, I think that's the story that I'd want to come and walk into your store knowing that you guys just think like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the reason we're successful. You know, we kind of started this with not much money, and we basically have just driven this thing, and we pumped maybe like lifetime advertising budget, like maybe $6,000 into advertising ever.
Oh yeah,
like
it's been nothing.
It's almost nothing, and every advertising thing we've done has failed miserably. So we're not going to spend any more money on it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. You know, so much of what we've done has been driven by just he and I, basically. Like it's wherever our minds go, basically. And there's no limit.
And before this all happened, we had been talking for the last 6 months about doing framing classes because we have so many people who love to do things themselves, bring us stuff that they just butchered. So I would much rather I would much rather give the average Joe a little bit of like a mounting, tips, so I think that because of all this, those classes might switch to an online format, but maybe free, maybe just on the YouTube. Like, why not throw it out there?
Yeah.
Or maybe do a virtual or do a Zoom. And I don't know, I hear like Lionheart master framing class, and I can see 40 of some of the best framers in the industry really interested in what you guys did. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Oh, we lost time.
I just think there's something there for you guys. I'm gonna leave it there. I want to ask you these questions because I want to wrap up soon, because I know your time is valuable as well. And by the way, I can have this conversation probably for 2 hours with you guys.
Yeah.
So you're in a partnership. What keeps the partnership so awesome?
I would just say, I mean, we work really well together. We always have. We're good friends. But I think our biggest strong suit is that we have different sets of skills that work really well together. He knows a lot more about woodworking and tools than I do.
He does a lot more of the business end stuff.
So I don't know, just different skill sets.
We're really honest with each other. That's a big thing too. Like,
Yeah.
we don't hold anything back. We don't tell like there's no harbored feelings or anything like that. Because we're in a 50-50 partnership, we literally split everything right down the middle, but we also like go out of our way to like give each other the time off we want, or, if somebody's in a pinch and needs an extra little bit of cash, we always try to make it work.
Sure.
Being flexible and being honest are the two biggest things I think that have kept us here. We run our shop 7 days a week because we're paying rent for all 7 days. So,
wow.
That, doing that with only 2 people can be really difficult, but like being able to be flexible is definitely a giant part of why our relationship still works. So we also live next to each other, oddly enough, on the same street, and it's never been a problem. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to wrap it up. Maybe I'll give you guys the floor. How would someone get in touch with you guys?
Oh.
Email, phone call, text message, DM.
Yeah.
We're very open. We will respond very quickly.
What would they do? Do you have a handle, or like what's your Instagram page, just so the viewers can hear it?
Yeah. The Instagram is Lionheart Frames. Our website is Lionheart Framing. Like he said, we're open 7 days a week. You can walk on by if you live in the area. The
shop phone number is 678-515-4573. And you can always email us. That goes directly to both our phones, 24 hours a day.
That's just lionheartframing@gmail.
Yeah. We probably won't answer at like 3 in the morning, but you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if I can add, So for the viewers who are watching and who are watching the pre-recorded, I think you need to get in touch with these two dudes. They're amazing humans wanting to help humans in the industry or outside the industry. I think they're doing some really unique things. Thanks for being, on this Tuesday Talks with us at Roma. And just before you go, do you have any message you want to send your Roma peeps here at Roma and online?
Oh, just stay safe. Like,
yeah, please stay safe.
keep
Open
washing
back
your hands.
up. Keep that sanity.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where, like, I think a lot of people are losing it. They're trapped in their house or whatever. Like, find a project to do. Learn more skills. Do something like that. Like, constantly be educating and learning.
Cool. And do more YouTube videos with voiceovers and music.
We will.
Yeah,
we
we'll
will.
try.
All right, guys, listen. I can't tell you enough how much this has been awesome for me. I learned a lot from you guys. I'm sure the viewers have. I look forward to doing this, post today. I don't know, maybe in 6 months from now. I can't wait to see your videos. And if you need anything from us at Roma, we're always here for you. We appreciate your support. And just keep being awesome, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks.
It's always a pleasure.
All right. You take care, guys.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.